is going on, sports fans? It's West Pruitt, 4 Star Sports Media. You are sitting down at the Sports Buffet, the one-stop shop for always a plate full of sports. Got my fellow Baldy over there, John Sturdivant, with me tonight as well. We got a plate full for you. We're going to get into it right now as we start with some UFL Week 8 discussions. But welcome to the show. Hope everyone is doing well. We've got, like I said, a lot to discuss, and we start with the UFL. John, we saw some exciting games this week. We saw the Showboats win Friday night, 24-22. Second win of the year, second overtime win. Also involved the Showboats. Showboats won both of them, by the way. But big time win, 2-6 now on the year for Memphis. Yesterday, we saw the Panthers knock off the Roughnecks 30-18 as Michigan moves to 6-2. And then we saw the Battlehawks knock off the Stallions 29-28. And then today, we saw the DC Defenders. What a story that has been. The DC Defenders 6-2 knock off the Renegades. John, week 8, what's your thoughts on the UFL?
Yeah, some close games out there, and then some teams clinch their playoff spot. Like you said, DC, remarkable story. Coach leaves, defense coordinator, defense line coach leaves, and then they're competing for a playoff spot right now, and they got a playoff spot. But the team that really stands out to me right now is still St. Louis, man. Like the way they keep on battling 29-28, and then it's nothing to be ashamed of in St. Louis because Max Duggan is being doing Duggan things. And then we didn't give a lot of shout out to this guy
Had a
last week.
Duggan?
Yeah, we didn't give a shout out to this guy last week, but I think we should have. Rodrigo Blankenship, the former Georgia kicker. Man, if he don't deserve
For the
his shot,
Battlehawks, yeah.
if he don't deserve his shot in the NFL after this year, look out, man. Like he'll have a good career in the UFL if he don't go back to the NFL.
Agree completely. We also saw the UFL announce this afternoon that St. Louis will host the XFL Conference Championship game on June 8th. That is the Spring Football League's XFL Conference Championship. Take place at the Dome, John, in the Americas Center in St. Louis. DC and St. Louis will officially punched their tickets, and that's going to be a lot of fun. The DC Defenders were not able to host the conference championship game due to a previously scheduled event at Audi Field in Washington, D.C. The UFL president and CEO Russ Brandon would say today, quote, when the U.S. 2025 UFL schedule was released earlier this year, we were aware of a potential postseason conflict with the venue in Washington, D.C. But after careful consideration, we determined that playing the game in St. Louis was the best option for the league. We want to thank the fans of the Defenders and want to apologize for their disappointment in not being able to see their team at home.
So,
I mean,
I was about to ask you, what's your thoughts on that, man? I think personally, I'm not in favor of it. I think it's not fair for the other teams. To be honest with
there's
you,
nothing you can do about it.
I know, but
That's
still,
the thing. I mean,
you can always put it like in a neutral location, or put it, for example, if a team, me personally, that's why I think if teams are not, like for example, the Showboats in San Antonio, they're out of the question for the playoffs, right? So why not have a team like the Showboats or the San Antonio Brahma, their mascot? Why not?
Brahmas, yeah.
Why not let the Brahmas get to host something in San Antonio, especially for the Alamo Dome itself? It already holds 70,000 people. You never know how many people might show up down in San Antonio for that. But for St. Louis to have a chance to play in their backyard in front of their own fans, I don't think it's fair for other fan bases to experience that because 20 something thousand, they already average 20,000 plus a home game anyway. Now they're going to probably have 30 plus for the championship game for the second year in a row.
Yeah, very interesting, man. Very, very
Are you
interesting.
okay with that though? Are you okay with it?
I have no problem with it. I mean, there's nothing that can be done. I mean, like Russ Brandon said, look, when the season started, and the other thing is this, John. Let's be honest. When the season started and all that happened, who expected DC to be playing for a conference championship? Now I understand you. There's nothing, you got to play the games, right? I get that, but um, I get it. I mean, it sucks for Washington. It sucks for DC. The beer snake is one of the coolest things you can watch in any sporting event, much less the UFL. I think it almost allows the UFL to kind of be different. Um, but it sucks. But it's one of those things. Hey, you win the conference championship, it just makes you more determined to next year be able to host. And at the same time, if you're Washington and you're the DC Defenders, should you look at now potentially maybe finding a smaller arena in the area if it's available? You know what I mean? But that way you have a little more control over the scheduling and what takes place inside that arena.
I mean, they already got really so many venues in DC though. The only one that comes to mind is Nationals Park, where the Nationals play their baseball games. But you can't put a football field and baseball field together in so much short time either.
Right.
So
Right.
unless you play the game in where the Commanders play in Maryland, which I don't think people would want that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, there's there's venues I think in the area, surrounding area, um, that you know could potentially
Or
help.
since or
But
since or since they're neutral in Arlington all the time now, why not put the game in Frisco? I know they're doing renovations at Toyota Stadium in Frisco. Put the game in
yeah,
Frisco. That'd be nice.
it's a
We
good
saw
point.
how much Memphis fans compliment on Toyota Stadium in Frisco this year because that's where Memphis played their
Oh
bowl
yeah,
game. So why not? They already have the SCS championships in Frisco, but not for the next couple of years, of course. But why not put the game in Frisco? That'd be nice.
yeah, this is true. Looking ahead to week 9, you got the Battlehawks taking on the Brahmas. You got the Renegades taking on the Showboats, as that game is at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. You got the Panthers taking on the Stallions. That game is on Saturday. The Friday night game is the Battlehawks Brahmas. Then you got Saturday Showboats, Renegades, Stallions, Falcons, Panthers, and then Sunday you got DC Defenders and the Roughnecks. John, let's jump over to the NHL as it's been a very exciting playoff so far. And we saw another game 7 last night between the Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets. As we would see Thomas Harley score with just he would score John, he scored 1.33 seconds into overtime to send the Stars to their third straight Western Conference final and lock in a matchup of last year's series against the Edmonton Oilers. Um, Big time stuff, man. Lot like I said, the Stars and Jets were tied 1 goal apiece through 60 minutes of play, but Harley, like I said, scored 93 seconds into overtime to secure Dallas's third consecutive berth. Harley, at 23 years old, 271 days, became the third youngest defenseman in NHL history to score a series clinching goal in overtime, following Babe Pratt, who did it in a 19 game 2 of the 1937 quarterfinals. I know we all remember that. And Bobby Orr at 22 years old, who did it in game 4 of the 1970 conference finals. So, congratulations to Dallas. Dallas and Edmonton are getting ready to meet for they're set to become the 10th pair of NHL teams in the expansion era since 1967, 1968 to meet in the conference semifinal or final in at least 2 straight years. It will also mark the 10th playoff series between the Oilers and Dallas Stars, also North Stars. Let's not forget about those guys. and eighth since 1993, 1994, when Dallas moved to, or I'm sorry, when the Stars moved to Dallas. Also, John, we saw it was announced prior to the game that 6 hours after losing his father, Brad, Mark Shefele would honor him by taking the ice for Game 6, and he would score the opening goal, John. An absolute incredible way to honor his father.
Hmm.
Stars fans honored him by making donations of $55. That's the number he wears on his jersey. It was a very cool moment, man. Very, 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 just awesome to see. But man, what an exciting NHL playoffs so far. And what, I mean, you saw it in the Blues series with Winnipeg. Now you saw it in the Dallas series, except Dallas was able to knock off the Jets. Let's not forget, the Jets were the number one best team in the league, had the best record in the league. They were the President's Cup winners, and now they're going home. As you've got Dallas and Edmonton, and then you've got another game seven, John, between Toronto and Florida. It's going to be
Zero.
exciting stuff.
Yeah, that game is 0-0 after one as we speak. Florida Toronto. I'm kind of pulling for the Toronto Maple Leafs in that game, just to see another Canadian team advance to the Western or the Eastern. I'm sorry, Eastern Conference Finals to face Carolina. Um, so the winner of that game, Toronto or Florida, would have to face
Mhm.
Carolina. Right now,
Yep.
Toronto is the number one seed. Florida's the three seed. So right now, with that being 0-0, no, we can do a prediction since it is 0-0. Who do you got coming out of Game 7? Then who do you got facing Carolina, the winner of that game as well?
Man, that's really tough. I mean, right now, the Panthers have two more shots on goal, 9-7. Toronto has 7 goals or shots on goal so far. That's a stat. That's one of the first stats I look at
Mm-hmm.
when I watch any type of hockey is shots on goal. I want to know how aggressive you are. How the other thing I look at is faceoffs. You look at faceoffs. That's basically like a tip off in basketball. Right now, it's pretty even. Toronto's got 52%, while Florida has 47%. And then you look at hits, 15-15 right now. It's been a very physical series. We've been talking about it the entire time. You made the statement the other night. It's gotten ugly. It's gotten ugly fast. It's physical. These two teams do not like each other. Um, give me, give me Toronto. I think Toronto pulls it out. Um, but it's going to be really close, man. These two, it's a game seven, obviously. It gets no better than a game seven in hockey, especially when you have a chance to go to your conference finals for Lord Stanley Cup.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more this week. But also, you got like you talked about Edmonton facing off Dallas. Man, Dallas, what a remarkable year in general in the city of Dallas. You got the number one overall pick for WBA, 2.8% to win the NBA lottery. You get the number one pick in Cooper Flag possibly for the NBA. Now you go Dallas in the American Airlines Arena is going to be rocking when Edmonton comes to town.
Oh
So
yeah,
credit the stars, and it's going to be more fun to watch in Dallas. If you're a city of Dallas fan, like a lot of people are that I know, now you just need the Cowboys to win, and you'll be all right.
yeah. But the question is,
Does Jerry Jones care?
does Jerry Jones care? Will the Cowboys win? Um, exactly, John. Just to throw this in there real quick, we did see Scotty Scheffler win the PGA Championship tonight as he earns his first career Wanamaker Trophy. As Scheffler would finish 11 under par, followed by Bryson DeChambeau and English, who were both 6 under par. But incredible win by Scotty. And congratulations to Scotty, man. Big time stuff. Hell of a golfer. He's the number one golfer in the world for a reason. This is the reason why. But just wanted to throw that in there real quick before we jump over to the NBA playoffs. You got any thoughts on Scotty boy and what was a pretty big win?
Yeah, just the way that he shot a 65 yesterday in round three what impressed me the most. And then, yeah, he shot a 71 today, so he didn't really change the score that much. Then Bryson, you brought up Bryson, -6, tied for second with Harris English. So it's good to see Bryson just keep on doing a good job for Bryson in that tournament, too. But just some notables that didn't make the cut. Phil Mickelson, of course, Dustin
Yeah,
Johnson. The list goes on and on. But man, it's just good to see Scotty win another tournament.
yeah, very true, man. Very true. All right, let's jump over to the NBA playoffs real quick, man. As we it's the starting to wind down. We saw Game 7 today between the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder and the number 4 seeded Denver Broncos. The Thunder would defeat the Nuggets 125-93 at home, led by Shai Gillis Alexander, 35 points on 63%.
MVP, MVP.
Oh, no question. And Jalen Williams combined had just a hell of a partner there, 25% on 58% shooting. We saw Chet Holmgren grab 11 rebounds, helping Oklahoma City match a playoff record, playoff franchise playoff record with 16 steals, the first set against the Warriors back in 2016. Despite attempting a franchise record 45 3-pointers, the Nuggets converted 10, which would mean they shot 22%, and committed 22 turnovers. As we saw, Nikola Jokic was 9 of 11 from the line for Denver, while Christian Braun reached a playoff career high of 19 points. John, big time win as it's now set. We know now who will play who, as we've got the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the number 6 seed Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. And then over in the Eastern Conference side of things, another throwback matchup that I am really excited about. You've got the number 3 New York Knicks at 51 and 31, taking on the number 4 ranked Indiana Pacers, coming in at 50 and 32. John, what's your thoughts on today's big win for Oklahoma City as they prevail and they're the only number 1 seed? Everyone else is a 3, a 4, or a 6.
Yeah, my thoughts on that before we do our predictions. Yeah, OKC, Denver outscored OKC 25-21 in the first quarter, but second quarter went to OKC 39-20. But the score was 38-35 when I quit listening to it due to a prior commitment. And then next thing you know, OKC went on that like 15-0 run and just dominated right after that. But heck, man, like your star players for Denver can only do so much. Credit Aaron Gordon. There's talks today that he had a grade 2 sprain and he was going to be out multiple weeks. But credit Aaron Gordon for even going out there and playing a game 7 for the Nuggets. This shows how much passion he has the love for basketball. And then Jokic can only do so much to himself. Only 9 shots off, 5 and 9, 20 points. But let's credit when credit is due. You brought up the MVP for a reason. 35
Yep.
points. So OKC, Minnesota. I think this series very well could go 6 or 7 games. And I won't be surprised if Minnesota pulls it out. The reason I say that, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and the list goes on and on. I think right now Minnesota's bench could be a factor in this. And one more dark horse who played pretty well last game for the T Wolves, Mike Conley. I want to see him get a ring. Let him go to the finals.
I agree 100% with Mike Conley. I'm a massive Mike Conley guy. I just don't know that Minnesota, yes, they have more pieces now, but my question is, can those pieces play well night in, night out against Oklahoma City?
I
The
think
other
this
thing is this: where is the defense in the NBA? We're scoring 120 points, 100, 118, 100. What the? Where's the lockdown defense that everyone talks about that we see during the playoffs? I don't see it.
Yeah, all they want to do is just shoot the three ball and hope it goes in. AKA
I mean,
Boston.
that's kind of yeah. But where's Boston at right now? They're sitting at the house. All right, man. Let's
Hey,
do
I feel
some
bad for
predictions
them.
real quick.
Yeah,
Oh,
Minnesota in 7.
really?
I just like. I love how Anthony Edwards is playing right now. 27 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and also I think it would be nice just to see a Mike Conley, Julius Randle. I said Carl Anthony Towns before. I meant he's with the Knicks, so I
Yeah,
apologize.
I guess.
But I meant Julius Randle. So those big three, Edwards, Randle, and then Mike Conley, I think they can get it done.
Yeah, could very well be, man. Could very well be. Give me the Thunder in 5.
Wow. Okay.
And then on the Eastern Conference side of things, I got to keep rolling with the Pacers, man. I mentioned them what feels like a month ago, but give me the Pacers in. You know what? Give me the Pacers in 7.
Okay. By the way, the Thunder T Wolves matchup opens up Tuesday night on the ESPN. Right now, the over and under for that game is at 213.5. OKC favored by 7.5. And then game one between the Pacers and Knicks is ready for this. Over and under is 222.5. And the Knicks are favored by 4.5. But you know what? Give me the Knicks in 7. I think these series it could go either way. Tyrese Halliburton, enough said. MVP probably in the East this year. Although the people hate him in the league, but
They do. Yeah, they
and
do.
but imagine the average price on SeatGeek. And if anybody wants tickets for that one, go to SeatGeek, which will give you the promo code for later. But yeah, imagine the ticket prices for that series in Madison Square Garden this weekend or this week.
Yeah, I could definitely imagine that. For sure, I could definitely imagine that. Speaking of promo code, if you're watching right now on YouTube, you have the promo code on your screen. SeatGeek promo code is 4-Star Sports Media. And if you don't know about SeatGeek, allow me to tell you. What is SeatGeek, you ask? SeatGeek is a platform where people can buy and sell tickets to live events like concerts, sporting games, and more. It offers marketplace for tickets, allowing users to find a variety of options, including potential deals and discounts. SeatGeek also provides features like interactive seat maps, which, folks, if you've never used the interactive seat map, it literally tells you where you're going to sit. It gives you your view of whatever the event is that you're buying tickets for. Price tracking tools, which I thoroughly enjoy, which helps buyers make more informed decisions. It makes it easier, man. You've got a buyer guarantee. It offers a buyer guarantee ensuring the tickets are legitimate and valid. It's very user friendly as well. Head over to SeatGeek now, SeatGeek.com/, 4-Star Sports Media. When you do, like I said, find any tickets $50 or more. Once you do, type in that promo code 4-Star Sports Media, and it will save you $20 off your ticket purchase. Big time stuff there. All right, John, let's take a quick break, man. When we come back, we are going to be discussing some breaking news out of the Northwest Arkansas Naturals and Kansas City Royals. We're going to be talking about college baseball and college softball. All that and more right here on the Sports Buffet, presented to you by 4-Star Sports Media. What's going on, folks? We're back. Four Star Sports Media. We're live right now on our YouTube channel. Appreciate everyone watching and listening over there as well. Appreciate everyone commenting as well. I was live earlier talking about the topic we're getting ready to talk about now, and I didn't even notice the comment that old started over there uh, stuck in the deal there. All right, real quick, man. Let's do a little sponsor shout out real quick. John, you know how I am with my brews, and you and I have been had this discussion. Matter of fact, I had one earlier this evening. Athletic Brewing Company. You see the logo over to the side of John there. But together, start in Stratford, Connecticut, place where Bill and John first begin. Not that John, different John. Bill and John first began testing brewing. They crafted over 100 batches of homebrew equipment to perfect their process, and refine their flavors. Once satisfied, they built an entire brewery around it. Since then, they've moved down the road to Milford, Connecticut, and built what is believed to be the world's largest dedicated non-alcoholic brewery. They've also expanded out to San Diego, and it's sunny out there. And between the two breweries, they have they are able to bring the finest and freshest non-alcoholic beers on the market to customers from coast to coast. They're now in stores nationwide, but you've got numerous different flavors. You've got the Run Wild, the Upside Down. The Upside Dawn. The Run Wild is an IPA, very good. The Upside Dawn is a kind of a mango-y, kind of a fruity kind of flavor. It's really good though. Free Wave, Cerveza Atletica really tastes just almost like a Corona, essentially. And then the Athletic Light, my personal favorite, which tastes just like a Miller Light beer. But incredible stuff, man. They regularly release experimental batches, limited edition styles, which is what they've got out now, and collaborative brewers, which is what they've got with the Iron Man competition, with the Iron Man beer, and also with Fancy Like, which is in collaboration with Walker Hayes. All right, John, we got some breaking news earlier today as we saw numerous things. So we saw Jonathan Bolin get moved up this morning from the Omaha Storm Chasers, the AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. We saw Bolin get moved up from AAA to the majors, as we saw Sutton get a DFA, which is a designated for assignment. Then let's back up though. Last night, we saw a little bit of freaking out, a little bit of fretting. Because for the first time in 37 games, Jack Caglione, the number one prospect for the Royals, was not in the lineup. People assumed last night, which, albeit they were kind of right,
I know, right?
that he was getting called up. Well, tonight, about 5:30, and we were right there with everyone else when we got the news. But Jack Caglione has been called up from the Northwest Arkansas Naturals to the Omaha Storm Chasers as he makes the jump from Double A to Triple A. We were live earlier with stats, things of that nature. If you want to listen, if you want to get a little more detailed into Jack and all that, you can head over there. We'll get it posted up here shortly. But in also, John, there was other moves as well. So you also saw Frank Mazzucato, 21-year-old pitcher, number 7 prospect. I'm sorry, number 7 uh, draftee back in 2021. 21-year-old pitcher can really sling the ball. Got a 1.43 ERA right now. Really throwing the ball well. He's going to really add to this Northwest Arkansas Naturals deep pitching staff, and he's got a pitching coach by the name of Larry Carter, aka LC, that's been around the block for quite some time, John. Uh, I'm excited about watching Jack continue, Bowling continue, and all of the guys that are in this incredibly deep, incredibly talented minor league system for the Royals. But I'm very excited to watch Mazzucato come in and see how he can do as he's stepping up a level, just like Cags is.
It just shows the domination over the last couple of years regarding not only the AAA domination of Omaha, the AA of Northwest, the single A of their team, but also the. I know right now the Royals are only a few games over 500, but KC is still fighting for that playoff spot to get back in the playoffs. But I feel like you remember I told you this about 5 or 6 years ago that the Omaha Storm Chasers organization and the KC organization will be back on track in about 4 to 5 years, and it seems like they're right back on track right now regarding not only pitching but also batters in general that can hit the baseball like Jack is right now. So we just knew a matter of time when Jack was going to go up to AAA. We just didn't know like it was going to happen after the All Star break for the minors or before. And right now it looks like he's ready to go up to AAA and just do his thing in AAA.
Yeah, and I mean, I is it going to be a step up? Obviously, yes. Right? I mean, Caglione's been tearing up Double A. Now, I will say this: watching him, covering him when he first got here, we were there opening night. We were there opening, just watching him batting practice. We've been there numerous days watching him take batting practice. Cags at the very beginning, he was very aggressive. He has an aggressive style at the plate, but he was forcing. He wasn't letting the ball come to him. He was trying to go get the baseball. As the season has progressed, now yes, he's only been here 2 months, but as the season has progressed and you've watched him being able to evolve at the plate. He's drawing more walks now. His strikeouts are dropping some. He's still got a pretty decent strikeout percentage, but it was up there for a while. It was up to almost 32, 33% for a while for Jack, while his walk percentage was very low. It's starting to kind of even out a little bit, which has been very interesting to see. Now, yes, everything he's done at the Double A level has been very impressive, but what does that mean at the Triple A level? Well, it means nothing. He has to go to the Triple A level and continue to prove why he's the number one prospect for the Royals.
Yeah, another reason I brought up hitting is because the Northwest Arkansas natural player Sam Rutna, former Army West Point. Thank you for your service, first of all, regarding that.
Ruda, baby.
Yeah, Ruda also hit his first professional home run today, traveled 346 feet to give the Naturals a 3-0 lead in the second inning today. So great story on good old Sam as well as we speak about the organization. Then also you brought up Bowling going up to Major League. Um, Second stint going up to the majors. Me
Yep.
and you both believe maybe he spends a couple of weeks or about a month there or so, give or take. Also, so it's good to see Bowen going back up to major leagues where he's probably going to be in the bullpen role like he was in that one bullpen role against the Astros where he shut the Astros
Yep.
down in 2 innings. How cool will it be to see him in St. Louis and face the Cardinals in a relief role, where his dad, Mark, got drafted when he was a baseball player for the Memphis Tigers. So how cool would that be to see him pitch in Busch Stadium, and just that'd be just a remarkable story in general for us to share on our platform as well.
Oh yeah, I think you could very well see it. Speaking of Ruda today, he was 2 for 4, had 2 home runs, a walk, 5 RBIs, and 2 runs. And that was he had his first and second home run today, both careers. He just came to the Royals May 6th.
Right.
He just got. I mean, he literally just got there. But yeah, young man can play, man. He's one to keep an eye on, as we tweeted out earlier today while the game was being played. John, as we wrap up the minor league section segment here, when you look at teams around the country, now another team that we cover here, we talk about here, the Memphis Redbirds, but also the Springfield Cardinal, Double A affiliate. They've got a young man there, John, that if you're not watching this young man, you may want to start paying attention to him because he can play, he can hit. He smacked a baseball today, way, 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 way out of the park. What's your thoughts on old JJ right now, a top recruit, top JJ Weatherholt is his name, John. He had a two-run shot to right. It was the first time in his career he's homered in back-to-back games. But young man can swing it, man. He can play, and he may very well be in Memphis pretty soon.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if he goes to AAA anytime. I mean, I won't be surprised anyway either. But yeah, congratulations to the whole organization so far. I know the Redbirds are a little bit over 500, so that's a good start for the Redbirds as well. You know, with today's win, Memphis native Ben Johnson tied Chris Maloney for the most managerial wins in Memphis Redbirds history at 367. So congratulations
Mm-hmm.
to Ben Johnson on that, and the good win to finish your arch rival off in Nashville to get the win today, 10-6, 14 hits for the Redbirds in a good rivalry game against Nashville. And that's good to see on a weekend that you see a rivalry series in this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt, man. The Nashville Sounds have been a thorn in that team's side for what feels like my entire life. But yeah, man, big time stuff. All right, let's jump over to college baseball real quick. As the conference tournaments have been set, we know who's who, who's where, and let's go talk about it, John. We'll start with the SEC. New this year is that every team makes the tournament on the baseball side of things. As we got game one, we'll start on the 20th. That is Tuesday. As we have number 9 Alabama taking on number 18 Missouri. I'm sorry, number 16 Missouri. I don't know why I said 18. 16 Missouri. Then you got number 12 Oklahoma taking on number 13 Kentucky. You got number 10 Florida taking on number 15 South Carolina, and then you've got number 11 Mississippi State taking on number 14 A&M. Quickly, we'll just go through, make some quick picks here. Um, you got Bama moving on.
Yeah, I think the game might be close for the first 5 innings, but I think Alabama's pitching in more depth. They're going to pour it on and shut out possibly Missouri. I think the game very well could be 9-7 or something like that. Alabama.
Okay. All right. Give me Missouri to get the win in round one of the tournament over Alabama. I think Missouri wins by 3 or 4 runs over Alabama.
Can you explain
Game
yourself?
two, Oklahoma can do what?
Can you explain yourself to our listeners why you got the
Yes, I,
15 seed
I'll
Missouri?
be glad to explain it. They just walked into College Station, Texas, and got the brooms out, as Forrest Gump's mama would say, and swept them off the porch in their own stadium. In their own, I mean, Missouri looked like a whole new team. I don't know what the hell that was, but I think that they've got some confidence, and they proved over the weekend that hey, they've only won 3 conference games all year, the most 3 recent that they played. But that's it's a hell of a lot of momentum for a team that hadn't won anything as they head into the conference tournament. And once again, John, what do they have to lose?
Very
Nothing.
well true. Yeah.
Nothing. There's no pressure on Missouri at all.
That'll hurt like a lot of Alabama's hearts.
Man, do you know? Do you understand how that would? If it, hey, I predicted Texas. I think it's gonna happen. I honestly
Yeah.
think Missouri is gonna knock off Bama. But game two, I got Oklahoma knocking off Kentucky. What about you?
Yeah, I think the way that Oklahoma closed out the year by taking 2 out of 3 against some certain teams in the SEC, because I think Kentucky it's a rematch of a couple weeks ago when Oklahoma went to Lexington And I think right now Kentucky's just not playing the best ball right now.
Yep. Yep. All right. Florida, South Carolina. Give me Florida. South Carolina's been a nice story. I like Paul Maneri, all that from LSU. Great coach. Don't think he really enjoys coaching right now. He's point blank said he doesn't. He doesn't enjoy coaching right now in 2025. So give me Florida. I think Florida wins, and it may be ugly.
Yeah, give me Florida as well.
It also may be his last game as head coach at South Carolina. Sorry.
Yeah, give me Florida as well. I think just right now South Carolina just the way they gave up a lot of runs. Example, a couple weeks ago when they faced Florida, and also when they faced Auburn. Auburn put a 20-plus piece on them, and I think Florida dominates here in this game.
All right, game 4 of Tuesday, which will be 30 minutes following game 3, by the way. Um, Number 11, Mississippi State. Number 14, Texas A&M. Give me Mississippi State, man. I think Mississippi State's one of the most dangerous teams in the country right now. Playing really good baseball. I think they've won 11 or 12 straight. They're playing great ball, and I think they win. I think they win handedly before they move on to the next day, Wednesday, against Auburn, who will be waiting for them in round 2. All right, John, round 2. So I've got
Give me the,
Missouri playing Tennessee.
give me the cowbell too. By the way, I think like you
Oh, yeah.
brought up,
Sorry,
Mississippi
my bad.
State playing perfect baseball. A&M had a chance to host a regional this year. The number one overall team in the country going into the season. You can throw that out the door now for the regional to go out the door. But yeah, give me Mississippi State. Bring me more cowbell. But you know what? We can do our predictions for the other rounds later in the week because we will probably have a show later in the week because Wednesday,
Yep.
I'd rather do that on Wednesday if we can.
Yep.
Because I want to tell you this though, like Tennessee to be the 8th seed is a total
It's dangerous.
dangerous, yes, but the way they got to play in the Saturday and possibly I know single elimination, but to play Texas right after either Missouri or an Alabama game, or that if they do face Alabama, that very well could be like a heated rivalry, which it is.
Oh yeah.
But don't sleep out Alabama beating Tennessee just the way that Tennessee has not been hitting the ball either in that second round matchup.
Yeah.
But man, whoever bought tickets for Friday might want to wait on buying tickets for Friday just to see who actually advances to Friday. I know the baseball lovers will still go out and support, but for the
Yeah.
atmosphere for rivalry games alone, you might want to wait till either Thursday or Friday to buy your tickets. But
Yeah.
the team to look out for, I'm telling you, the Georgia Bulldogs under Wes Johnson and Mike Bianco at Ole Miss. Do not be surprised if they make it to Friday and make some noise going into the weekend.
I think Arkansas is a team you got to watch out for.
Right.
I think you got to look out for Vanderbilt. Obviously Texas, right? I mean, but then it's the old adage of, and I've heard it seemingly for the last 5 years, 10 years now. It feels like no one cares about Hoover. No one wants to win Hoover. The top 4 teams are just there. They're already in their mind. They're already at their regional site.
If they want to host a region, they better make some noise.
But I mean, the top 4 teams, I think, in the SEC are all going to host. I mean, I would
Right, but I'm
assume
talking about
Texas
like
will
the other
host.
teams.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many games do you think Texas, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and LSU play in Hoover? Do you think it's just like 1 or 2 games, maybe, and then they just go home?
Depends on how the matchups match up because, like I said, I think if Tennessee does get past the Alabama or Missouri winner, and they do face Texas. Does Texas, like you brought up, does it really matter to them? Tennessee is facing right now. They're hosting, according to some of them, they're hosting. Some of them they're not
Yep.
hosting. So
Right.
if Tennessee wants to make some noise in the SEC tournament, which they very well can, because it's
Oh
Tony
yeah.
Vitello out there coaching the team. But right now, to Tennessee, the real UT, they call it. They want to say it. But Tennessee wants to
Yeah.
make Tennessee wants to make it some noise in the SEC tournament. They got to host a region. This is the time to shine.
I
I just
will
think
say this.
I think
I
it's hard right now.
thoroughly enjoy. Oh, 100%. I really like the single elimination format because if you're Arkansas, I mean, you're not going to throw your ace, right? You're probably going to throw.
2 innings maybe tops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're not gonna. But at the same time, you win 3 games, you win the whole thing.
Right.
And then you look at their draw. Yeah, there's LSU sitting there. Yes, they have a chance to face Ole Miss, Florida, or South Carolina. Oh, by the way, also have a chance to place Auburn, Texas A&M, or Mississippi State. I think that's a much easier draw than Texas has. Texas got absolutely hosed on their draw in this SEC tournament. I think Texas has the hardest road to hoe, and they're the number 1 seed. You got to
Because
run through. You got to run through Tennessee. You got to run through possibly Vanderbilt, Georgia, the team you mentioned. I would tell you, I completely agree, is a buzzsaw. What happens? Like I said earlier, Missouri has nothing to lose. What happens if freaking Missouri is hotter than fish grease right now, and they beat Bama, they beat Tennessee, and they knock off Texas? Then what happens?
and then they make the
Obviously, they're
chance
not going to make
to
the
win.
tournament. But could you imagine if Missouri won this tournament?
It would remind me of the same Tulane group that won 14 wins total by winning the
Yeah.
American. That's what it'll remind me of.
Yeah, it would, man. It would. Yeah, very, very, very exciting stuff there. And I'm looking forward to it. All right, man. Let's jump over to the American Conference real quick, John, as this bracket is all set now. As UTSA is the 1 seed, Charlotte is the 2, South Florida is the 3, Florida Atlantic is the 4, Tulane's the 5, East Carolina is the 6, Wichita State is the 7 seed, and Rice rounds it out with the number 8 seed. The games will begin on Tuesday. This tournament runs Tuesday through Sunday, like most normal tournaments, conference tournaments do. But it'll start with game 1 between number 5 Tulane, number 4 Florida Atlantic, and then the second game of the day will be number 1 UTSA against number 8 Rice. We'll just start with those two real quick, John. Um, give me Tulane to knock off Florida Atlantic, and then give me UTSA to win.
What a nice jersey combination for the first two ball games. I
Oh
might add
yeah,
as well.
100%.
Tulane's fresh jerseys to the Florida Atlantic jerseys that are fresh, to Rice's throwback jerseys to the new ones. Then the UTSA orange and gray jerseys. Man, what a great start to Clearwater, Florida if you're the American Athletic Conference. But yeah, give me Tulane as well. The way they dominated the Memphis series in that series.
Yep.
I know it was Memphis that didn't make the conference tournament this year, but give me Tulane. I think they're playing great baseball right now, and just the history of Tulane baseball in general. Um, and then also, I think Rice competes with UTSA because what does UTSA really have to lose, right? They've already made a regional as
Rice has
well.
nothing to lose.
Rice has nothing to lose. They're a big disappointment this year in college baseball. Their RPI at one time was like at 230, won 16 plus ball games. Then Rice got nothing to lose. But I think Rice keeps it close, but prevails.
Okay. Yeah, I agree, man. What about the really every game has great jersey combinations, by the way. I love
Mm-hmm.
that you brought that up too. Because that's one of the first things I think about. Number 7, Wichita State. Number 2, Charlotte. Then you got number 6, East Carolina. Number 3, South Florida. Give me Charlotte to get the win. I like this Charlotte baseball team, by the way. And then give me South Florida. And it sounds crazy to say that because East Carolina's been a powerhouse in the conference for many years. And we talked about at the beginning of the year, could someone knock off East Carolina? And there's been 5 teams ahead of them right now. It's been a very surprising season out there in Greenville.
Yeah, and also this tournament is double elimination for our listeners as well. So yeah, give me Charlotte. I think Wichita State does keep it close, just the way that Wichita State got into the tournament. But also give me South Florida. I think you brought up a good point. The way that East Carolina has been up and down all season long under Cliff Godwin, which his name is still floating out there for the Mississippi State opening. So maybe the players are taking a little bit of notice on that a little bit. And
Mm.
think about it, East Carolina this year they're not going to be hosting a regional if they make it to the championship game. They'll be traveling for the first time in what 15 seasons it seems. So
Yeah.
go ahead and give me South Florida as well. And I think right now they're just a better ball team.
Okay. And like you said earlier, on Wednesday, when we're back on air, we will break down the Wednesday games, potential Thursday games. We'll talk about it Thursday too, as well. All right, man. Let's jump over to final topic of the night, which is one that's to me very exciting. It's been a wild, wild, wild weekend in softball, and it's continuing to go on. John, let's talk about. We talked about them the other day. We kind of went through all the different regions, or all the different regionals, I should say. But what's your thoughts on what we've seen so far in the regionals?
Southeast Louisiana pulling the shocker over LSU. Um, Mercer beating Florida Atlantic yesterday. We talked about this last night. If you might want to go back and listen on Four Stars Live, we talked about how the pitching is going to carry over till today, and I think it definitely showed how much certain teams like Auburn ran out of pitching because they had to beat Florida State twice. Right now, it's showing the Ole Miss Arizona game. Arizona's up 10-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning right now, where Arizona very well could just run roll Ole Miss and call it a ball game. Then A&M's up 2-0 over Liberty right now, bottom of the third. Oregon's making a statement again, 13-5 over Stanford.
Yeah, they
And
are.
then right now, hey, we talked about this game yesterday in Fayetteville. Top of the third now.
Top of the second right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
top of the second. I do apologize, but 3-0 right now for Arkansas to beating Oklahoma State, which a lot of people picked Oklahoma State because based on their history to pull the shocker. But
yeah,
Arkansas is sure is shutting them down once again.
yeah, yeah, man. When you look at Arkansas, I mean, you got Robin Heron on the mound, and once she steps on that mound, that's a different team. Bree Ellis has scored a run. She's got had one at bat, got a run.
Should have walked
Kelly
her.
Wyckoff has scored a run as well as Reagan Kramer. But very, very interesting stuff, man. This Arkansas team is good. They're loaded. They've got they've got depth. They've got coaching. They've got everything that you can need, and they're a really fun bunch to watch for sure. Um, we we talked about Liberty, right? Liberty, what a hell of a shock they've had, but now Texas A&M, they were down 6-0 earlier today to Liberty. Didn't affect them one bit. What did Texas A&M do? Well, they came back and beat them, and they didn't just barely beat them. They beat them 14-11. They scored a lot of runs in the game. Really high scoring ball game right there to force a game seven. And that game seven, like you talked about earlier, Texas A&M currently leads 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Now, John, here's the interesting thing. Ole Miss loses, looks like they're going to, like you said, down 10-1. Can Arizona do it again? This is the scenario that we talked about yesterday. We were
I
talking about at the
apologize,
very
but
end of the show.
yeah,
Oh, no, 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 you're good. Um, we talked about it at the end of the show. Here's the scenario we talked about. Ole Miss, they got it. They have kind of a mulligan game. They didn't throw the ace. I imagine we'll see the ace coming up in game seven.
yeah, as we should.
but and we'll get more into super regionals, things like that coming up this week. But when you look at all these, what really surprised me, John, we talked about it yesterday. Texas A&M had to win two. Oklahoma State has to win two. Arizona has to win two. You saw a situation to where Stanford has to win two. Duke
Oregon.
had to win two today. Um, you know, Liberty, shocking as that is, Liberty had to win two. Nebraska, you saw Mississippi State get knocked out earlier in the Lubbock Regional, 9-6 to Texas Tech. Down in Tallahassee, Auburn had to win two. They won the first one in dramatic fashion, and then they got blanked in the second game 4-0. So many of these teams that have to win two, some of them do it, but some of them are Texas A&M. Prime example. The number one overall seed is struggling to get out of their own regional. And obviously, if they win it, they're going to host a super. What's your thoughts, John, as we uh, somewhat close here? We got to do the Sportsbox Company question of the day.
4-0
But
now. Oh no, foul ball.
what's your thoughts on the top seeded teams struggling in 2025?
I mean, is it really a total shock? I don't think it is, to be honest with you, because the way that the portal is right now regarding college softball. Southeast Louisiana dominated the Baton Rouge regional, and they lost. I know they lost to Nebraska, but just the way they beat LSU in walk-off fashion 2 games in a row, they showed a lot of heart. But yeah, it's not really a total shock because the way that the transfer portal is in college softball is in general too. Because you see people transferring from Duke to Stanford or Stanford to Duke, you name it, they transfer these days in college softball. But the team that impressed me the most as the top 10 overall seed, Tennessee Lady Vols. Give them a shout out. They impressed me this weekend very much so, where they could basically make a trip back to OKC. I had Ohio State winning that regional just because I
Yep.
didn't know how Tennessee's pitching was going to be versus Oklahoma or
Nasty.
versus Ohio State batting, because Ohio State led the country in home runs this year. But just the way that Tennessee dominated that pitching performance this weekend was very much impressive to me. So shout out to Tennessee in that one.
Uh, I got to say, shout out to Florida Gators. They dominated the entire weekend. They played their game. The pitching was strong. Of course, we know Florida's got dominant pitching. The bats show up when they have to, right? Um, the SEC has been a very strong conference so far. Yes, I understand LSU got knocked out of their own region. I get that. But when you look around the country, the other thing is this, John. How about Clemson? Clemson is now super regional bound for the third year out of their 6 years of being a program. So shout out to the Clemson Lady Tigers. I assume that's what they call
Wait,
them.
whoa, 6 years?
They've
They
done.
only had top over 6 years? Wow.
That's what it said. I saw the stat earlier. It said they have made a super regional 3 out of the 6 years that they've been a program. So yeah, shout out to Clemson, man. That's another team that's really been impressive. This road to OKC is going to be a lot of fun.
In Georgia.
Speaking of the road to OKC, I was going to say Georgia as well. Georgia as well. All right, man. Speaking of the road to UK to OKC, we got to do the Sports Box Company question of the day. Speaking of Sports Box, John, if you're a parent out there looking for training aids, gear, and awesome sports bags, sports swag for kids of all ages, look no further than sportsboxco.com/4star sports. When you go there, you're going to find personalized boxes. So it's a monthly subscription to personalized boxes for kids who play baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, football, lacrosse, or volleyball, as it keeps them playing and having fun with Sportsbox. It's the subscription is the gift that keeps on giving and keeps them smiling month after month. Order now, and your first box will be shipped out soon. Like I said, head over to sportsboxco.com/4star sports for a direct link to these gift boxes these things just keep your kids happy all year, and it keeps them looking good too. The question of the day, John, is have you enjoyed the Women's College World Series? My answer quickly is hell yeah. It's been a lot of fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. There's been great games. There's great storylines. Clemson has won. Southeastern Louisiana. I understand they didn't move on, but they were a great story. Um,
Liberty.
Numerous ones. Exactly. Liberty, North Florida, numerous stories all across the regionals of teams. Jackson State, another one, to be honest with you. Just teams across the country that have fought like hell to get to this point. They got there, and that's a story in itself. So, man, to answer that question, simply, hell yeah, I've enjoyed it. What about you?
Next question. Maybe tell you too.
We ain't doing. We ain't doing that.
No, next question means hell yeah in my book because I talked about with the portal, man. Like these portal players going to other places just to shine at their new school. You see, like we brought up Liberty. You see a Conference USA team, and Liberty make a college regional and just compete and compete and compete in a hostile environment in College Station. Then Ole Miss, yeah, they didn't get to host this year, but phenomenal story still regarding Rebels. And think about it, they lose this game, they're still fighting for that super regional also.
They are, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's games going to be on all night tonight. Um, Stay right here with us, man. Head over to our X page, Twitter, whatever. It's at 4 Star Sports M. Head over there now. Head to the website. We're getting ready to have some stuff out at the website here shortly, including this podcast audio, the one earlier on Jack Caglione. We're going to have an article out on Jack too, as well as the new player coming into the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. And like I said, we'll be out there next week covering in person like we do here at 4 Star Sports Media. But appreciate you coming on, John, as always, man. For John
Appreciate
Sturdivant, all of us here at 4 Star Sports Media, I am Wes Pruitt. Get up, folks. Get up, be kind, and stay classy.